Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, Blue Marble Riders. Today's video is a bit of a mess because I was actually going to be filming a different one, but I thought, as so many of you have asked for an update on the Moto Guzzi Griso, I would give you one. So today I rang the dealer. I've given them a little bit of space in the past week and a half. They've been doing a lot of different things, including an Aprilia and Moto Guzzi test ride on a racetrack. Man, do I ever time it. I would have loved to have done that and brought you some footage of that next year, I guess. So I wasn't able to do that. I let them do their thing, and I phoned them today to find out what or how the Griso is getting on and whether or not it's going to be written off. The information I received today is they have sourced most of the parts. They've got the costing for most of the parts, and they are going to, or they have just furnished that to the insurance company. I'm waiting for the insurance company to get in contact with me. They haven't done so yet. It's only been a couple of hours since they received the message. I'm thinking that they're probably thinking hard on it because I got some information that rattled my cage a little bit today. And for those of you who own big block Guzzis, it should probably rattle your cage as well. The Griso shares an engine with quite a few other models. I'm not going to list them all off, but if you're a Guzziisti, you will know. If you're an owner of one of those other models, you'll know for sure. It turns out that the parts that have been most difficult to get for the Griso have been the exhaust, and I think actually a couple of subscribers told me that that would be the case, and in fact their bikes were written off because of that. Now there's a way around that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And the second one that's really hard to get is a cylinder head. The cylinder head on my Griso is not badly affected. It's chipped and, the paint is chipped and flaked. There may be a slight, very subtle groove or two in a couple of the very top fins. But to me, I didn't consider that as being critical. However, they feel that it needs replacing. The dealer were not very impressed with Moto Guzzi. They are a Moto Guzzi dealer, they're a new one, and I think they got a little bit of a wake-up call here because what they said to me was, we are not impressed with how long Moto Guzzi are honoring parts for the Griso model. The last model was 2017, I think they said. Mine is a 2016. And he said 10 years is usually the accepted period of time that a manufacturer honors parts and has tooling in order to continue to make parts or stockpile parts for various models. So with that said, he was shocked to find out that one, there are no more Moto Guzzi Griso exhausts available new anywhere at this point in time. So all of you out there who have a Moto Guzzi original exhaust, which is ironic because a lot of Guzzi owners, and I wasn't actually one of them, don't like that exhaust and they replace them. But for me, it being what I would consider a power cruiser sport bike, if you like, it's a unique bike, and that exhaust is very unique. And it while it's, you look at it in isolation, it's an ugly piece of metal, but when you put it with the bike, I think it adds some charm, style, and a groove, if you like, that I don't think any other bike has out there. It makes that bike even more unique and quirky than it is. And it grew on me to the point where I have an aftermarket exhaust and I haven't put it on yet. I am going to put it on, obviously, because they can't get a new one and my old one is seriously dented. So for those of you who have an original Moto Guzzi exhaust and you've been taking it off and put a different one on there, I suggest you keep it. People who got the bike and want to go back to original, they might be willing to pay an amount of money for that. So that was the first issue. Various other things, many other parts can be replaced. The gear shifter, the component the gear shifter bolts into, that can be replaced. There's still parts for those. The rocker cover is still available and out there, and so is the plastic piece on top. So they've managed to source those. They have forwarded everything to the insurance company with the proviso that they cannot replace the exhaust. I'm hoping the insurance company get back to me and don't say we're writing the bike off because we can't get the exhaust. Because if they do, I'll just say, well, I've got an aftermarket one. And this raises another question to me, and I'll get to that in a minute, and maybe some of you out there can help me with that. But before I get to that, the other one is cylinder head. The cylinder head is as rare as hen's teeth, and there are a few out there. They said there was one left in Mandello dell'Ario in Italy, which is the Moto Guzzi factory. They said there's one left there. and they've earmarked it. So that would mean that any big block Guzzi no longer has new parts for it at the factory anyway. There may be in dealers stockpiled somewhere. So I was quite shocked, but he was really shocked. He was really shocked with that. And again, he said, you know, we're a new Moto Guzzi dealer and we're putting the V100 out. We've got the Stelvio out. And the question I have is, you know, if you stop producing that in 5 years' time and go on to an updated model that shares very few components, how long have we got before you stop making those parts? It's a very valid question. And if I were a dealer, that's a question I would have. And I'm hoping that, and perhaps someone can help me, this is the bit that I wanted to talk about, is I'm not sure how all this works. Having never put a claim against a bike before, I'm assuming that if the parts and labor come to above what the value of the bike is, they'll write it off. However, if I sneak in under the goalposts and they don't write it off, but there's this issue of not being able to get that exhaust, do they write it off then because they can't get the exhaust? In that case, do I counter with, well, I have an aftermarket GPR exhaust. Thanks, Wayne, by the way. Wow, how helpful was that, buddy? Subscriber to the channel sold me that, I don't know, a month and a half before I went down on the bike. So really thankful I've got that GPR exhaust to put on. Whether I bring that up with them or whether I say, well, can you pay me out for the value of that exhaust? And we'll call it square and then go ahead and fix the rest of the bike. And I will find myself an aftermarket exhaust, which of course we all know I already have. So I don't know how that works, how that plays. If you've got any information out there that can help me on that and the best way to tackle this, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get an email in the next few days, and I think it's going to be very, see how this works? Very close to the bone as to whether they write the bike off or not. I've had a lot of people say, they wrote my bike off for just the exhaust and a rocker. Okay, well, my dealer is replacing gear shifter, bolt, gear shifter, bodywork that it bolts to, side stand, rocker cover on the left side, cylinder head on the left side, and also replacing the exhaust, or attempting to. I can imagine those parts are in this zone. With the labor, I would imagine it's in this zone as to whether the insurance company will write it off or not. I will keep you up to date on that. And that's why I'm doing this video. I've had a lot of people ask me. So like I said, I don't know if it's going to be that. I can barely do that with my shoulder, or that, but I hope it's going to be that. Sorry about the mess. I'm in the middle of doing a different video, as you can see, and I will be getting that one out too. I'd be hypocritical if I said keep the shiny side up, because apparently I can't do that. Hope to see you in the next one. This is the BlueMarbleRider, out.
Once again, thanks for watching, everyone. If this is the first time you've watched, please consider subscribing. I do product reviews, motorcycle reviews, off-road and on-road vlogs, as well as tours. Don't forget to follow me on social media, that's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and to like, and especially, I'm begging you here folks, subscribe. This is the BlueMarbleRider, out.